r/white people Twitter. Carrier-C250 says. Perfectly said. Included photo. Big Du Sanamataken says. Yeah, I'm really not gonna like my opinion, but young folks, unless you vote and vote hard, and put up with, and overcome all the obstacles Republicans put in your way, you're really gonna hate the future. Project 2025 looms large. NGL, I'm a late boomer, saw my share of shit and struggle here in the Rust Belt, but I knew what freedom felt like. Unless women and young people get out and vote in overwhelming numbers, your future is toast. Don't care if I get accused of karma farming. I'm gonna keep reminding people. Lined off 10,000 cakes says. I'm going to vote so hard. Dirt Slayer says. And then Biden said it's voting time, and everybody voted everywhere. Biden 2024 people. Fact for Life says. I'm not worried about me abandoning Joe Biden. I would vote for a dead, ein rat over Donald Trump. I'm worried about a few thousand voters in a few swing states abandoning Joe Biden. If he's the best option we have of securing victory, fine. But if we have others that are better, then I want to go with them. Anyone that's trying to spin this as people abandoning Joe Biden for reasons other than wanting to win is just lying. This is no longer left progressives saying they don't want to vote for him because he's too centrist. These are people worried about his ability to actually, win the election. And that is a valid, fear given all the polling we are seeing. Try not to be as dishonest as Republicans. Please. r/white people Twitter. Carrier-C250 says. On the other hand, the media has buried Project 2025 and just covered the Biden's debate performance. Included photo. Sharad says. No one take a pleasure cruise to, Russia. It has to be clear to even the densest among us that some political shit was going on. Clockwork Dreams says. I mean, years ago, I was always interested in seeing Russia. I'm a weirdo, I can admit. I am a Reek says. I don't blame you for thinking that. Authoritarian dictatorship aside, I always thought Russia was a cool place as well. Hummeltmech says. Like, sure, I get that Trump is a pedophile, rapist, felon, twice impeached, Nazi embracing, insurrection leading fascist traitor, and the conservatives on SCOTUS are betraying their oaths and profiting from the dismantling of democracy. But Biden coughed on TV that one night when he had a cold, and surely that makes him unfit for office. It's clearly an apples to apples comparison, and that needs to be our focus. Skyrick says. I don't think you understand. Biden instructed the eyes to go after millionaires who haven't paid taxes and has gotten back $1 billion in owed back taxes from those millionaires. That is what they find threatening. Trump might be a fascist who will dismantle our democracy, but Biden might make them pay the taxes that they owe at our laughably low tax rate, and they can't allow that. I mean, what is the point of being obscenely wealthy if you can't lay on top a pile of gold? The destruction of democracy is a small price to pay to maintain that wealth. r/white people Twitter. You're a key 89A says. Thoughts? If it's true. Included photo. In between gender says. If the word refrigeration ain't near the name Vance, then I don't care. Zalausidiel Fox 3354 says. Bob Vance, Vance refrigeration. Okipa says. What line of work ya in, Bob? Bucket Crab says. Trump is definitely going to pick this guy because his last name is 5 letters and 1 syllable. It's the same reason he picked Pence last time around. You're a key 89A says. Plus, the eyeliner. Dragos says. JD's boyfriend said his eyeliner looks sexy. Joe Dawson Genpasy says. Q. Who is JD Vance? The guy that said, I'm a never Trump guy. Spire Citron says. Every one of them is ready and willing to flip between being pro and anti-Trump when it suits them, sometimes multiple times. JH111 says. JD Vance, 2016. I go back and forth between thinking Trump might be a cynical asshole like Nixon who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or that he might be America's Hitler. Marco Rubio, February 2016. You all have friends that are thinking about voting for Donald Trump. Friends do not let friends vote for con artists. Lindsey Graham, May 2016. If we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed, and we will deserve it. Kellyanne Conway, April 2016. Donald Trump's tax returns aren't transparent. I'd like to see those be transparent. Ted Cruz, 2016. The fact that Donald seems terrified to release his taxes suggests that there's a bombshell there. Donald's business dealings with the mob, with the mafia. I'm gonna tell you what I really think of Donald Trump. This man is a pathological liar. He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth, and in a pattern that I think is straight out of a psychology textbook. His response is to accuse everybody else of lying. r/white people Twitter. You're a key 89A says. Think about that. Included photo. Mickey Pro says. How much do you want to bet the PAC will buy ads exclusively on Twitter? Mihalis27 says. So then no one will see the ads, except those who are already in the tank for the melon felon? I'm okay with this. What Mitchell51 says. The melon felon. I like it. Bob Spinner 1 says. Trump is the most publicly open pay-to-play president/candidate we've ever had. Ellen is banking on Trump winning and gaining this money back plus billions more through favorable policies. Have a Hedge says. Nah, I'm sure he's just laundering Saudi and Russian money, like a good boy. Seeing Trump as an investment is too sophisticated for Ellen. Thlanfanin 814 says. Anyone with half a brain would see a scumbag billionaire donating this much money to Trump and immediately know it's a bad thing. Unfortunately, people who will vote for him aren't very bright. But sure, they'll keep telling themselves that Trump and Ellen are fighting for the working class. r/white people Twitter. Imtispeciforahat says. What was the right saying about protecting kids? Included photo. Everything Beeps says. Conservatives see a headline like this and blame the parents for allowing the kid to believe she's trans. They absolutely won't feel a shred of guilt or remorse or even empathy. Wizard of Awesome 62 says. Yeah, plus the fact that they don't view trans kids as people also helps with their lack of remorse or empathy. When you view the victim as subhuman, you don't really care what happens to them, in my experience with these assholes. Cosmolamus says. Fricking justice for the amount of hate these far-right groups have spread. Republicans are terrorists. Rosie G says. This is what conservatives want though. Taking away trans youth's healthcare, taking them away from supportive parents, it is all so that they die before they can become trans adults. There needs to be a serious intervention to gain trans rights back. Magnus Storm Raven says. And yet advocating violence against monsters like this will get you into serious trouble. Fatharimi Ormuth says. I'm not advocating for it, but I assure you, I wouldn't lose a second of sleep if violence were to happen to them. r/white people Twitter. Karaisi 250 says, I guess her text identities as AI. Included photo. Melodic Mulberry says, a monster who recognized my husband as an inhuman political machine attempted to wring out Donald's passion, his laughter, ingenuity, love of music and inspiration. Can't tell if AI or not. AI usually knows what wring out means, right? Overprenant says, love of music? It's probably sarcasm says. Laughter? Dry Ranch 1 says, I don't care, do you? And on 567,890 says, be best. Mad Max Beta says, I be bested. Fifth Wall 0666 says, a monster who recognized my husband as an inhuman political machine. Did she just identify her husband as a cruel and barbaric political machine? Or am I missing the definition of inhuman? Z-Pirate says, the who recognized my husband as definitely reads as her saying she thinks it too. Even if that's not what she meant. It's very strange wording. Tumblr Eden Route says, game recognizes game. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.